Double ladies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the fan-made check thing. It's a what if I'm doing. So, in this one is what if Zuko had sunshine? So, Zuko was born with that power. And let's start off with him at the doctor's thing. Court doctor. When his parents and plus he also had a sister called Zumi. She had the opposite quirk. Zuko's sister was able, because her power, instead of growing strong and mighty, she becomes overpowered. Day and night. Ain't. So, it's similar to that monsters. There's moon and sun thing. Yeah, I know. And it also had but her power thing, her power is by moon. She becomes this overpowered person that basically destroys anything or anyone. She's also the similar as her brother, but both of them have the same mindset thing. So then they okay, or doctor says, or I'll just try to use one of the pictures. Okay, this one. So the doctor, at first they see him or both of them are that's interesting in his head. And then when they did a quirk assessment testing, they found they found out that Zuko and Zumi have a special quirks. Both of them are common. Or no, actually it's their attributes. He was gonna say, well, ma'am, sorry, both of them are quirkless, but then but he was straight with them. You have the special type of quirk that I never seen before, as Inko Go says, okay, what new type are we talking about? As the doctor says, well, you ever heard of attributes? None of you? As he looked at all the Midoriyas, as they didn't know what attributes are. In this what if, it's the attributes are highest ranks than, or they are high, very high, and they could. So the doctor says, well, picture sun and moon are their own entities and like kind of forms. So I was just itching my face when I did that. Okay? So he says, and instead of inheriting like quirks, they inherit their attributes. Like you, Zuko, you can basically turn your body into the most strongest one by day and weak at night. But for your sister, she's opposite. She's strong at night, but weak at day. But as he's talking about how they both have, and plus he also added, you can also self-revival at your own time things. Like if Zuko died at night by some random bullet thing or spear or someone's quirk, you can, or by day, you can instantly like come right back to life. It's pretty powerful for both of you. As they all like, what? And he also said, it goes for the same thing as as he looks at Zumi and says, well, both or you have the same thing, but if you get killed in day, but at night you can self-revival yourself. You come right back. But there's one thing. You also, between both of you both gain like extra weapons, extra quirks that turns into your higher ranks because both of you have that. As they were like, what? Hold on. Are you... It was Inko that told them, like, wait, so if one of them dies and What happens if both of them die at the same time? As he shrugs his shoulders, as he says, well, if one dies at night and wait till morning, then you will end up, and if I'm saying like they're basically immortals at day and night thing. Okay, that makes sense. And it's because they got freaked out. So then the Bakugo was like, oh, or Bakugo told Zuko that to get out of his way. Who decided that? As he became like that guy. Okay? And it was similar to the what if Deku had sunshine by someone else, not by this. This is my first time. So, it's similar, but so of course Zumi was happy about her brother has almost identical power. So then Zuko was like, okay. And during the first year thing, or second year, after the kids try to pick on a weak kid, then, is that a transfer student? Says one student. Yeah, her name's Toga, Himiko Toga. And so then, he already had this level of control before, but with all that power, so he literally walks up to Toga upstairs and like, and so his sister was downstairs, or actually his sister went with him, so she ends up as like Zuko and her did all that. But then when of course she actually really did have a best friend, or two friends, Zuko and her sister. Technically it would be one friend. Sorry about that. I had to itch my butt. So then okay. So he was pretty happy about it. Sorry. or she's pretty happy that she truly does care her about her friends. So then through like third year or end of like school thing, they or UA and Charm has or not Charm. Sorry. So they so Toga had a crush on Zuko, and then or before, actually Toga literally walks up to her friend Zuko, and she told, or actually when she literally in private area, like when they were getting to school, Toga just stopped and put her hand on her friend Zuko's arm, and she's she says Zuko as. So he says, yeah, as she told him go on a date thing, and so then he says sure, as yay. And of course and at that same school thing was that purple haired guy. So he and Deku went along great because they both, or everybody thought they were like weird thing, except for his sister. Zuko's his sister. So he was like, Zuko, is that you? And he says, yeah, that's me. As they're so used to, or when in the mornings they see basically him an overpowered thing. And so they basically at your UA exam, they immediately beat everybody. As he was pretty powerful, alright? Because just look at him. From like far away, he can. So then I'm skipping that part because him and his sister, or actually him, broke All Might's record. Aaron, as his sister says, you jerk, you broke every record. And she broke Endeavor's record too. So then they were like, okay, so I'm skipping that part and skipping the exam part. So Here's the villains. Villains. They all chose their costumes. Like Zuko chose that costume. His sister chose. Let me use the details of it. It would have been her outfit, but she would have had way more clothes, like, and her hands would also have, like, plus she also has knife resistance and bulletproof one. So then, and before I go any further, Zuko's is also, when he's in his weak form, he's also super strong. Like he can boom, kind, or summon the flames in his own weak state. So then they did that, and, or actually, let me debate about who will he fight against. Of course, I already figured it out. Alright. Zuko against his little sister. That's what All Might, or that's what they both pulled out. And Toga was like, "Oh boy." They were in A. Yeah. So then, Zuko, or actually Toga, where is Toga? Toga told All Might that would be a death battle for them. Because Zuko told her and him that me and my, or this is what Zuko said, me and my sister are basically immortals. If or if she dies at day, we had to wait until at night, and then she comes right back, like reborn. And as Toga's like, wait, what do you mean? As he says, you simpleton, they're both can never die, truly. Let's see. Let me guess. Or as he says, let me guess. So you who can basically self-revival yourself for each time you die, by, as during whatever, like, day and night, Zuko says that's correct. If I die at night, then we had to wait until morning for me to come right back. So then Toga told All Might that, And they were like, as everybody from class 1A turned and looked at her like, wait, what do you mean by them if they kill each other's? And All Might says, go right ahead. Let's see how you self-revival. As they did. Like, they weren't holding back. Zuko conjured up a fire creature that did that, shot a fireball. She's used like a sonic boom all out, and then the moment came, she got killed by the flames. Like through her entire chest. Because her brother had way upper hand than her. Then All Might called a meeting thing, and then they did all that stuff. Well, then one day, like, whoa, hey. So then, next day, nothing really happened. She came right back. She walked over. She said, that was a pretty interesting battle, Zuko, as everybody from class 1A just turned, except for Zuko. They all turned and looked at Zuko's sister, Zumi, as they're like, wait, so that's true? So if one of us tries to die, or if one of you two tries to, or if all of us try to kill both of you in 2 different time zones, as Inko, or actually her brother says, or actually Deku says, yeah, it got pretty hard. Because he dodged it, but at the same time he like get pummeled. Like he also got hole in the chest. As he closed his wounds, and it looked like nothing has happened. That creeps some people out. Like, what? Except for Toga. Because that was amazing. So then, those days, of course, Bakugo had so much respect for Zumi, he secretly, or he actually walked up to her and told her the same thing that what Toga did. So then she said sure, and then of course Momo, in that class decides, if both of them are immortal, they both have strong quirks, they must be so powerful. So, and so did Jiro, but they so then they went on, or so they was like a hawk watching them. So then, at the villain's base, as the doctor told All for One that, there's something new. As the doctor says, or as All for One says, what's so new? As the doctor says, well, Zuko, I encountered two highest people, or children's, that I ever met. They are high-end ones. They could end of the world kind. What is their names? One of them Zuko, the other is Zumi. The Zuko has day quirk, or day attribute. Zumi has a night attribute. They both can't be killed. So both of them are kids, or they both have similar quirks to each other, or similar attributes. So then Shiraki sent and went up and asked him, so what's the plan, boss? Or master? As All for One told Shiraki-san that there's two most powerfulest ones at UA right now. And so they were the powerfulest ones. So then moonshine went over to Zuko, and drumroll please, he told him about like All for One and all that stuff. Then All Might gave him One for All. And then through it was like, yep. But it went through a change that no one expects. One for All became, instead of a quirk, it became a literally the most powerful quirk that they never because they all like had like quirks that could be passed down for generation through generation until, well, Zuko and Zumi has the uncontrollable quirks, but they and so before I get too off topic, Zumi has had her brother's fire ability thing. So basically, she's a mortal too. So she can never die in the day or at night. Thing. That's overpowered. So then the USJ. I always forget. So then Class 1B and 1A went on this field trip together. As 13 like explains, and then Portal, and then so then Zuko literally looked at his sister and says, "I got a plan, sister." Or they both nod as 13, or actually Zuko told 13 what his plans are. As he, or so 13's like, is it too risky? As he says, no, I'm immortal. I can take all that power. But there's one thing. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it for the fight. As he literally, when everybody when evacuate from USJ, the gates closed, but Zuko took care of it real fast. And then he went and grabbed Mr. Aizawa, as he says, or actually Mr. Aizawa says, "What are you doing? You should have been with others." As Zuko says, "Yeah, man, there's one thing that, and I don't want you to end up getting blind, so that's why." Hey? As he grabs Mr. Aizawa, ran away, as he tells Mr. Aizawa to cover his eyes quick. As he says, sure. As Zuko uses supersonic flash. And, or like, and it, similar to his roar, but Zuko's power it decimated the entire, or made everyone go blind. Or as he covers it up, and everybody, or all those villains, were they couldn't see. Like, I couldn't see. I can't see anything. As he tells. Alright, that was a kind of risky move. To plan our escape from it. As 13 says, huh, thank goodness you told me. And only thing that came out was that Nomu. So he went in and attacked. Ooh, that's not good. As he used his own Blair thing. Boom. And all of his power. And sliced right through his brain. Like. As then communication, but then in the Kirigiri, like, you'll be coming with me, Zuko. As they like, no, my brother, no. As Zuko. As they. But lucky for him, he also used Momo's copy quirk thing. Or sun quirk. Or the sun creation. Or creation of sun. So he made a thing. So then when he got introduced to, like him getting introduced to All for Ones, and he says, huh, you must be Zuko. I heard so much about you. And he actually had a power to. So he's like, before we start chatting, my mouth is dry. So as he like used his own Benin thing. So then he used like radio thing. Or like recorder, and guess who received it? 2 people. Denki, that human Pikachu, or actually just him. So he says, guys, I know where Zuko is at. As he's listening to their conversation. Like, so you must be All for One. Huh. How is your thing holding up? Well, as All for One Hun says, well, it's quite simple, Zuko. I will give you this quirk to be fused into your body. And so they were keep talking, and so then all the students, like class 1A and 1B, were shocked that Zuko had this strap turned up his sleeve. So then, of course, the detective, or actually the pro heroes, showed up, and All Might heard All for One's name, and he becomes bulkier. And so Bunny Girl was like, as she looked at looked at Mr. Aizawa and says, "Your student is a pretty smart cookie," because 13 said his plans were to grab you and bring you down, but it didn't mean that he. So then they were like, okay, done. And so then Toga was happy about that her boyfriend became the smartest one. So then All for One says, "You're powerful, so want you to visit me." Okay? As he says, "All right, where at?" As he told him the coordinates things, but lucky for him, or Zuko, he also had a recorder with it. So, as Class 1A was like, and 1B says, "Wow," as one of them, I'm trying to figure out. Tinya says, "No student could ever do that at UA." Yeah, but it wasn't his plan to get captured. He tried to bring me back to this class. So, of course, Blood Hero was hearing it. They all were like, as All Might knew that location, as he pole vaulted all the way to the villain's base. And they did their little, like, pounds down. I'll remind you, this was an USJ attack. And I'm just reminding you, this used to be USJ attack. Then it transformed into All Might versus All for One. So then Zuko knew where to get out. So he went right through the roof, and he said, "All right, I can take him." As he says, "No, you're still a student. Getting your pen handed to you? Is that what you mean?" As All Might's like, "What the heck?" He says, "This only takes 5 seconds for me." As he goes, literally walks up to All for One, cuts him down right at 2 molecule level. Or actually, actually he used Cruel Sun, and he also, or actually decay quirk thing. Zuko got decayed, but he got revived. So now he got decay quirk as he grabs, and he literally killed All For One right then and there. And he didn't mean to do that. Only weapon that it didn't have effect on was actually his axe that he's holding. So so they were like, okay, Zuko has this powerful, and he went toe to toe with with All For One, and surprisingly, Zuko won without All Might lifting a finger. So then they were like, okay, Zuko. So then sports festival and everyone, when they saw Zuko, literally, or actually or Midnight 8, like, bounced him, or actually all the way to the front podium thing, and he says, "Are you all ready for the sports festival?" I don't want anyone to hold any quirks back, except for myself and my sister. Because he was actually quite cool. Or everybody's cool with it, because no one wants to get on his... Or actually, when they were getting introduced, like, Class 1A, as they roared so loud that everybody has watched him went toe to toe with All For One, the number one villain. That's what it is. And when they got to Class 1B, it's like, okay, Class 1C and all the way. But when Zuko came up on stage and he says, as those plus Ultra, as the entire world, because the entire world was so happy that they had the number one hun. As his own, or all of them, including Inko and Sashi, when they saw, like, what happened, they thought he was gonna die at first, but then when, or actually during the All For Ones thing, he turned and looked at All Might and said, well, I'm immortal, so I can never die that easily. But All For One's hands things before turned into a fingers, or those long like force activation quirks and pierced right through Zuko's heart thing, like killed him. But it was during the day, so he instantly comes right back. Like, is that what you tried to do to me? As everyone was shocked that Zuko's immortal. All Might's like, dang, Zuko, calm, flipping down. And let's see who will be. And so, Endeavor was watching angriously at USJ attack. There. And because All for One, or actually, Endeavor knows that All for One was a powerhouse. The powerfulest thing in the world. But then the Zuko beats him in about one final stroke thing. And so then they were like, well, okay. So they were trying to make him survive. You know? So then All for One or actually Zuko, had enough power to do all that stuff without any hesitation. Like he even, hold on, without any hesitation. So then they abandoned him at first, but then they realized, oh, okay, for only 1 week. So he actually wrote apology to him. But there was no apology thing because Zuko told Eraserhead what his plans were to get him out of here before Final Flash thing. Because Zuko had a special ability oh my goodness. Mr. Aizawa told Zuko, where's your axe thing? As he points up. As Mr. Aizawa couldn't tell that its plan was already in place for it. So as Zuko grabs him, hoists him out, and then all that stuff, and then so then 1 week they at the USJ or at the sports festival did that all. Okay. So then Hero Killer Stain saw what Zuko did. And they praised him, and every student, including his friend, admired him, praising him with, good job, Zuko. We're very proud of you. As obstacle race, Zuko wins. Bakugo came in second. Of course, Todoroki was third, and so Momo No, she actually, or they actually wanted her to go on a double date thing. She wants to date Zuko and, or like, where she wanted to date him in the three-way date thing. So then she literally Toga, or actually Momo went up to her and she, or that Momo wants to, or is he up for like double date thing? Like you date him and I date him. Let's both date him together. As he's, or as Toga's like, she says, okay, or three-way date thing, because Jiro says at the same. So then the cavalry battle, Zuko's team won. Because him. Shit. Sorry. I said ship, not that other one. So then Zuko became the most popular is not even a real word. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. So Zuko was pretty popular. Everyone, including the pro heroes, wanted him for their agencies. Endeavor wanted him for the fighting thing. So then his sister was with him, and in a fight thing, Zuko won all that, and without any hesitation. Like, he beats Todoroki with just one punch, and without any, like, because he can also control Shiraki's decay quirk thing. Like, he can turn it off. When he punched Zuko, or when Zuko punched Todoroki hard, right? Him, his sister, and Toga, like, and plus, I really don't know what the three-way love thing is. The, not triangle, but I was gonna say four. One, sorry, yeah. So he ends up winning all of them, and Hamburg, or actually before, or during his band thing, when he walks around there's the guy in the hoodie with a mask on. Guess who it is? It's Musclear, but not with the high patch thing or eyeglass. But he says, "You must be Zuko Midoriya, aren't you?" As he says, "Yes, I am." As, heck, Musclear, he did his praisal, like, and he also says, if you ever start your own thing, and I join it after horse. So then, at Sports Festival, Zuko won, and then Camp Park. Her. Dobby, and the rest of them were like, okay, this is what the plans are. We had to grab Zuko. Oh. As they knew the plan, but deep down in Dobby's heart thing, he really wanted to be friends with Zuko, not make a mortal enemy of Zuko's. Okay, sorry. So then one of the pussycats, guess which pussycat that was? I am gonna look up her because I forget her flippin' name. She's the one. She's like Ragdoll. So Ragdoll, decides to train Zuko because she knows that his power far exceeds hers. So she ends up being in like, okay, when? And she ends up like training Zuko at night when everybody's asleep. So she ends up like, so you're immortal, as he says, yep. I hope that nothing can try to separate it. So then Ragdoll says, okay, I know that it might kill you, but, and as he says, yeah, I get that a lot because she actually knew about Zuko, who's his power. So she actually like went toe to toe with a number one student, strongest student, and he ends up accidentally killing him, like by just piercing through his chest, ripping down his heart, or pierced his heart during too, as he like, So Ragnar says, "Oopsies, I did not mean to kill you, Zuko." Oh crap! That's what she says. Oh crud! As the morning came, or actually, she just sat there waiting for Zuko to wake up from. Or actually, she fell asleep. And so the Mandrel walked over and said, "What did you do?" "I did not mean to kill him." So then class 1A students looked at him, or they see that he's dead. As then the sun came over, and once it hit Zuko's, I think pigs, or actually one of them can notice that their body temps are actually, they are sweating. Like, it was Tiger said that. Are we all sweating as Zuko gets up, his heart returned, and he closed his wound thing, as he's like, is it morning already? Thank goodness. As everybody, everybody except for his sister was laying shock, including 1B too. They never seen a person that could self-revival at day and night thing. So he gains her search ability, or her quirk called search. But he with all that power, he was like, good job. As with one for all, upgrades her search ability to the highest one. So basically, he knows he even knew the entire world's histories. He even knew that past, present, and future were present. So she ends up, so Ragdoll and the rest of the pussycats or wildcats were, they were like, what the heck, man? And so then Mayday, or whatever her name is, the cat girl, Oh, says, so you have the ability to basically, once you die during like night, you become weak. Or you become, or you'll be dead until morning, right? As he says, yes. Uh, as he says, yep, that's how it does. Of course, she says, okay. And she also told him that she, if he dies now, then this would have was Zuko was pretty powerful at first, but when he became, or so she ends up saying, well, try to kill you, but let's see what if. Of course, Pixie Bob, or whatever her name is, Pixie Bob, was allowed. So her and all the everybody killed him over and over and over. Like, sheesh, calm down. So he got everyone's quirks buffed up to past their own limits. Like, he can. And basically, he used search ability and, like, he can. He basically was so powerful that, of course, and of course, Zuko had a special ability, or actually, admiring his performance was none other than Hawks. And Endeavor. Because Zuko, or actually Endeavor, walked up to Zuko and says, I want you to join my agency. As he says, okay, now learn human for me. I'm being here too. As Hero Killer Stain had no chance. Because Zuko actually, Zuko did not have too much power. Or, but when Hero Killer Satan saw his favorite idol, because Zuko, or they named him Escanor Ultimate, or Ultimate Escanor. That's what everybody starts calling him by that. So then Bakugo was like all upset that he gets more, or actually Zuko gets more fortune thing than him. Plus appraisal. Okay? So then they're like, okay, look who's powerful. So amazingly, Overhaul has found that out the easy way. And so everybody respects him more and feared him because of that. Right, sorry. Okay. And, okay. So, Stars and Stripes wanted him to, like, join it for 30 years. He actually never slowed down, never, like, aged. He actually got married to Toga, Momo, and Jiro. And so they're like, okay. They had powerful sons and daughters and all that stuff. And the Zumi got married to, I hate to do this, but she got married to Bakugo. And had the kid that had both Bakugo's explosion and his or their or Zumi and his powers of mortality thing. So basically he actually at night his explosions become so powerful that and like 20 nukes just shot out, or nuke times 25 million. Yeah, proper training. And plus he also self-revives himself. So then they're like, okay. And everybody, including Dobby, everybody had respect for Zuko, his sister, and his family. Because if they are too stupid to do that, Zuko just kills them. So then, Overhaul, decides, okay, of course, that's the end. Because the doctor got kidnapped by authorities and got arrested and ends up killed, or not killed, but he ends up getting more powerful, or actually Doctor says, what's with all those nomus that you create? Oh, my children's, I see. Your children's, I say, or you say. As All Might was in his Small Might form when he said that. As Zuko says, huh. Or as he literally walks up to the doctor and says, is it your kids or the families that you took those quirks from their child's kids? As he says, in a very deep tone thing, as he says, well, see, when All For One was here, he always takes away their quirks. I duplicate them, and then I do all that stuff. As All Might was retired. And so then Zuko was pretty powerful. He accomplished a lot in this What If. So, have fun, don't die, and see you all in the next video.